You second guess every decision, then second guess the second guessing. It's getting worse, isn't it? That voice in your head used to whisper. Now it shouts. You question whether you said the right thing in that meeting. Then you question whether you're overthinking it. Then you question whether you question too much. And the spiral tightens. You're not broken. Your brain is doing exactly what brains do when they're stuck in what neuroscientists call a rumination loop. Every time you doubt yourself, you strengthen the neural pathway for doubt. You're literally training your mind to be your enemy. But here's what nobody tells you. The Stoics identified this exact pattern 2,000 years ago. They called it the restless intellect, the mind that feeds on its own anxiety. And they had a cure. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in the ancient world, wrote about lying awake at 3 a.m., his mind spinning with self-doubt. Sound familiar? He wasn't immune to this. He was human, but he learned to break the cycle. In his private journal, what we now call Meditations, he wrote, how much trouble he avoids who does not look to see what his neighbor says, but only to what he does himself. This wasn't philosophical theory. This was survival. The Stoics understood something we're just rediscovering. Attention is everything. Where you place your focus determines the quality of your thoughts, and your thoughts determine the quality of your life. Epictetus, who went from slave to philosopher, taught his students a practice called the discipline of judgment. Not judgment of others, judgment of your own mental habits. Here's what he meant. Every self-doubting thought has two parts: the initial concern and your reaction to that concern. The first part might be useful information. The second part, the spiral, the catastrophizing, the endless what-ifs, that's optional. Think about your last major self-doubt episode. Maybe you questioned something you said to a friend. The useful information was simple: I care about this relationship and want to communicate well. Everything after that? Mental noise. But this is where it gets strange. The Stoics didn't try to eliminate doubt. They tried to relate to it differently. Marcus Aurelius called it objective representation, seeing thoughts as mental events, not truth. Here's the practice that changed everything for him. When a self-doubting thought appeared, he would say to himself, this is the mind creating doubt about X. Not I am full of doubt. Not this situation is confusing, but the mind is creating doubt. Does this sound like your life right now? You've been treating every anxious thought like an emergency broadcast from your subconscious. The Stoics treated them like weather, temporary, observable, ultimately powerless unless you give them power. Most people miss this part entirely. The goal isn't to never doubt yourself. The goal is to doubt productively once and then move on. To let doubt inform you without consuming you. Epictetus had a student who couldn't stop questioning his every decision. Sound familiar? Epictetus told him. You are an actor in a play. Your job is to play your role well, not to direct every other actor from the stage. Stop trying to control what you can't control, including whether you made the perfect choice yesterday. This next part is why you're still watching. The Stoics developed a 60-second technique that modern cognitive science proves works. It's called cognitive distancing, and it breaks the rumination loop in real time. When self-doubt hits, you ask yourself 3 questions. Is this thought helpful right now? Is it true? And can I do something about it today? If the answer to any of these is no, you acknowledge the thought and return to what Marcus Aurelius called the work at hand. He practiced this during military campaigns, political crises, personal losses. Not because he was superhuman, but because he understood that attention is your most precious resource. And self-doubt is attention theft. You felt this before, that moment when you catch yourself in the spiral and step back. The Stoics systematized that moment. They made it a habit instead of an accident. Here's what you do today. The next time that familiar voice starts its litany of doubts, don't fight it. Don't feed it. Simply notice it and say, the mind is creating doubt about X. Then ask the 3 questions. Is this thought helpful right now? Usually no. Is it true? Usually impossible to know. Can I do something about it today? If yes, do it. If no, let it go. This isn't suppression. This is sovereignty. Marcus Aurelius wrote, confine yourself to the present, Not because the past and future don't matter, but because they're not where you have power. Your power is here. Your power is now. Your power is in choosing what deserves your attention. The Stoics knew that self-doubt wasn't a character flaw, it was a habit. And habits can be changed. Not overnight, but with practice. Not perfectly, but progressively. You've been carrying this weight for so long that you forgot it was optional. The doubt, the spiral, the endless questioning of your own judgment, it's all learned behavior, which means it can be unlearned. Start today. One thought at a time. One choice at a time. One moment of returning to the present instead of spiraling into the past or future. This is how you reclaim your mind. You've been teaching your brain to doubt itself for years. Now it's time to teach it something new. You already know more than you think you do. If something in you just shifted, you already know what to do. If this named something you've been carrying, subscribe. New wisdom every day.